perfect for drifting off into a dreamy sleep. It's called The Tale of the Starry Grove. So snuggle up, close your eyes, and let's journey together through this enchanting night sky. Are you ready? Let's begin. In a quiet corner of the world, nestled between misty mountains and a shimmering sea, lay the enchanted village of Starry Grove. The village was renowned for its radiant night sky, filled with stars that danced and twinkled with a magic all their own. The villagers believed the stars held ancient secrets, whispering stories of distant realms and forgotten times. At the heart of Starry Grove stood the celestial oak, an ancient tree whose branches reached high into the heavens. Its leaves shimmered like silver in the moonlight, casting a gentle glow over the village. Legend had it that the tree was a gift from the stars themselves, planted by a celestial being who visited the earth long ago. The celestial oak was said to have the power to grant wishes, and the villagers often gathered around it to share their dreams and hopes, trusting in its silent promise. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara, with eyes as bright as the night sky and a heart full of wonder. Elara was fascinated by the stars and the stories they held. She loved listening to the legends of the celestial oak and often visited the tree, dreaming of far-off places and grand adventures. Yet, despite her fascination, Elara had never made a wish of her own. She believed that wishes should only be made for the most important things, and she had not yet found a wish worthy of the celestial oak's magic. One year, as the village prepared for the annual Star Festival, a stranger arrived in Starry Grove. He was a tall man, draped in a cloak of midnight blue, with eyes that seemed to hold galaxies within them. The villagers welcomed him warmly, curious about his origins and purpose. The stranger introduced himself as Orion, a traveler from a distant land who had heard of the village's famed night sky and the legendary celestial oak. Orion was not just any traveler. He was a storyteller, and he had journeyed far and wide, collecting tales from every corner of the world. As the Star Festival began, he captivated the villagers with stories of ancient lands, mythical creatures, and heroic quests. His voice was melodic, and his tales were filled with wonder, leaving everyone spellbound. Elara, like everyone else, was entranced by Orion's tales, but what fascinated her most was the story Orion told about a legendary treasure known as the Starlit Pearl. According to the tale, the Starlit Pearl was a rare gem that could grant its holder the ability to understand the language of the stars. It was said to be hidden deep within the enchanted forest, a mysterious wood that lay beyond the village. Many had tried to find the pearl, but none had returned. The forest was filled with magical creatures and enchanted traps, and only the pure of heart could navigate its dangers. The idea of understanding the stars and hearing their secrets filled Elara with excitement. For the first time, she knew what she wanted to wish for. That night, as the village celebrated under the canopy of stars, Elara slipped away to the celestial oak. Standing before the ancient tree, she closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish to find the Starlit Pearl and understand the language of the stars," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the gentle rustling of the leaves. The celestial oak's branches swayed as if acknowledging her wish, and a soft, silver glow. She felt a warmth in her heart, a sign that the tree had accepted her wish. Determined and hopeful, Elara set off on her journey the very next morning. She packed a small bag with essentials and bid farewell to her parents, who, though worried, understood her longing for adventure. As Elara entered the enchanted forest, she was greeted by an otherworldly silence. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves a vibrant green that seemed to shimmer in the light. She walked carefully, mindful of the tales of those who had ventured before her. The forest was a place of wonder and mystery, where the ordinary and the magical intertwined seamlessly. It was said that the forest was alive, watching over those who entered its depths, and Elara felt its presence with every step. Her first encounter was with a group of whispering winds. These winds were known to carry messages and secrets from across the world. They danced around Elara, whispering in her ear, testing her with riddles and questions. Elara answered each riddle with patience and wit, her heart steady with the warmth of the celestial oak's blessing. Satisfied with her answers, the winds guided her deeper into the forest, their whispers fading into the distance. Next, Elara came upon a crystal-clear stream, its waters sparkling under the dappled sunlight. As she knelt to drink, the water began to speak. It was a talking river, a creature of pure magic. The river posed her a challenge. She could only cross if she could tell the river her deepest desire. Elara hesitated, thinking of her wish. She spoke of her longing to understand the stars, to hear their stories, and share them with the world. The river, moved by her sincerity, parted to reveal a hidden path, allowing her to cross safely. As Elara journeyed on, she encountered many more magical beings. There were mischievous sprites that tried to lead her astray, but she outwitted them with her cleverness. She met a wise old owl perched high in a tree, who offered her advice in exchange for a promise. The owl asked Elara to promise that if she ever found the Starlit Pearl, she would use its power to bring light and hope to others, not for selfish gain. Elara readily agreed, her heart filled with the noble purpose of her quest. One of her most daunting challenges was a maze of shifting trees. This part of the forest was known as the Labyrinth Grove, a place where the trees constantly moved, creating an ever-changing maze. Elara wandered through the grove, feeling lost and disoriented. The trees seemed to mock her, their branches twisting and turning in strange, intricate patterns. It was here that she encountered a cunning fox, known as Vesper. The fox offered to guide her through the maze in exchange for a favor. Sensing trickery, Elara was cautious. She promised the fox a single story in return for safe passage, knowing that stories had their own magic. Vesper guided Elara through the Labyrinth Grove, his keen eyes and quick steps finding the hidden paths. As they emerged from the maze, Elara kept her promise and shared a story from her village, a tale of kindness and courage. The fox listened intently, his eyes softening with every word. When the story ended, Vesper thanked her and vanished into the woods, leaving Elara to continue her journey. Days turned into nights, and Elara's journey seemed endless. She encountered countless other wonders: a field of singing flowers, a mountain of crystal that reflected the stars, and a village of friendly forest creatures who offered her shelter. Each experience added to her understanding of the world, teaching her lessons of compassion, courage, and wisdom. One evening, as the stars began to twinkle above, Elara reached a secluded clearing in the forest. In the center of the clearing was a small, crystal-clear pond, perfectly still under the starlit sky. At the edge of the pond stood a stone pedestal, upon which rested a radiant pearl that glowed with the light of 1,000 stars. It was the Starlit Pearl. Elara approached the pedestal with awe and reverence. As she reached out to touch the pearl, a voice echoed through the clearing. It was soft and melodic, like the whisper of the wind. "Only the pure of heart can claim the Starlit Pearl," the voice said. "Speak your wish and reveal your heart's true desire." Elara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. She thought of her village, the celestial oak, and the stories Orion had shared. She remembered the wonder she felt when she first heard about the Starlit Pearl, and the longing to understand the stars. But most of all, she thought about the journey she had undertaken and the lessons she had learned along the way. "I wish to understand the language of the stars," she said, her voice clear and steady. "Not for power or glory, but to share their stories with the world, to bring hope and wonder to those who listen." As she spoke, the Starlit Pearl began to glow brighter. The light enveloped Elara, and she felt a surge of warmth and energy. The pearl lifted from the pedestal and floated into her hands. The voice spoke again, filled with approval and kindness. "You have a pure heart, Elara. The stars will speak to you, and you will carry their stories to the world." With those words, the light faded, and Elara found herself standing alone in the clearing, the Starlit Pearl in her hands. She felt a new sense of purpose and understanding. The stars above seemed to twinkle brighter, as if welcoming her into their secret world. Elara returned to Starry Grove, greeted with joy and celebration. She shared her tale with the villagers, who listened in awe. The Starlit Pearl became a cherished treasure, a symbol of the village's connection to the stars. True to her word, Elara learned to understand the language of the stars. She spent her days studying the constellations, listening to their stories, and sharing them with anyone who would listen. As time passed, Elara became known far and wide as the Star Whisperer. She traveled to distant lands, spreading the tales of the stars and the magic of Starry Grove. Wherever she went, she carried the warmth of the celestial oak in her heart, a reminder of the wish she made and the journey she undertook. One winter, many years after Elara's journey, the village faced a great hardship. A severe storm had swept through Starry Grove, damaging homes and crops. The villagers were disheartened, their spirits dampened by the harsh winter. Elara, seeing their sorrow, decided to use the power of the Starlit Pearl to bring hope and light back to her home. She stood before the celestial oak on a clear, starry night and asked the stars for guidance. The stars whispered to her, their voices filled with ancient wisdom. They spoke of a forgotten story, one that could reignite the villagers' hope. With the Starlit Pearl in hand, Elara began to tell the tale of the Starry Guardian, a celestial being who protected the village long ago. The story spoke of courage, resilience, and the enduring light of the stars. As Elara's words filled the air, the celestial oak's leaves shimmered with a soft glow. The villagers gathered around, their eyes shining with renewed hope. They listened to the story, feeling the warmth of the stars and the love of their village. The storm's damage seemed to fade away, replaced by a sense of unity and strength. In the days that followed, the villagers worked together to rebuild their homes and tend to their fields. Elara continued to share the stars' stories, each one a beacon of light in dark times. The village thrived, their spirits lifted by the magic of the stars and the wisdom of the celestial oak. Years passed, and Elara grew older. She continued to travel and share the stories of the stars, but she always returned to Starry Grove, the village that held her heart. The celestial oak stood tall, its branches reaching towards the heavens, a symbol of the village's enduring connection to the stars. As Elara's life journey came to a close, she passed the Starlit Pearl to a young storyteller who had shown great promise. She shared her knowledge and wisdom, ensuring that the stories of the stars would continue to be told. The young storyteller, filled with awe and gratitude, vowed to honor Elara's legacy and carry the stories to new generations. And so, the tale of the Starry Grove and the girl who wished upon the celestial oak lived on, reminding everyone that the true magic of the world lies in the stories we tell and the dreams we dare to chase. The stars continued to shine brightly over Starry Grove, a testament to the power of hope, love, and the endless wonder of the universe. In the end, it wasn't just the treasure Elara found that mattered, but the adventures, the lessons, and the love she shared along the way. The villagers of Starry Grove knew that as long as they had the celestial oak and the stories of the stars, they would always have a light to guide them through even the darkest nights. And in every star-filled sky, Elara's legacy continued to shine, a beacon of hope for all who looked up and dreamed.